Hello, welcome to Heathrow's Terminal 4 and to Azerbaijan Airlines. No, I hadn't heard of them either, but the plane looks lovely. It's a brand new Boeing 787, so next stop, Baku. Baku's famous for a few things, having one of those massive flags, these amazing flame buildings which look like they're coming out of the ground, being the venue of Eurovision, being in that Bond film with Pierce Brosnan, hosting the European Games last year. But now they're part of the Formula One World Tour, and it's more or less a twilight race. This is a city and a country built on oil. At the beginning of the 20th century, nearly half the world's oil came from round here. But that was in the past. And now tourism and sports like Formula One are really part of Azerbaijan's future. And this is the centre of it all, the impressive looking government house, another big flag. This will really be overlooking the whole of the paddock. It's still early days, but I think you'll agree there's still a lot of work to be done. The centre of the paddock will be in what's now a bus lane, and then we get to the temporary, and it will only be a temporary pit building and then paddock club on top of it. We'll have all the team's equipment in the back here. This will all be painted and leveled out to make it look swish and super. We got the race control down the end with the Mercedes garage, and then the Haas F1 garage. The last one will be down the end of the pit lane. But it's time for us to go and have a look at this track, and I can't think of a better car to do it in. Right, here we go, down pit lane. Got a little bit of a seatbelt malfunction. I'll tell you what, I'll just drape it over my shoulder, like that. And now to the part of the track I like to call the central reservation. That's because it pretty much is one in the middle of a dual carriageway, but it will be unique amongst modern Formula One circuits in that we've got the flick-flack, the reverse direction of traffic. So you've got the cars who are coming out of turn 6 and down towards turn 7 in this direction, and then much later around the lap, the cars are coming from turn 19 to turn 20 in this direction. And this is the long stretch down towards the start-finish line at about 220 miles an hour. And we go right by the Tom Ford and the Tiffany's. Even Flavio's got one of his billionaire shops down here. There's obviously a fair bit of money in this city. So down from turn 7 into what is going to be the slightly bonkers turns 8, 9 and 10 as we skirt the old city and the castle walls. And if we can just wait here, my friend. Yeah, just and see exactly what we've got to deal with. And what we've got to deal with is something that won't still be cobbled, sadly. It would be a bit of an ask on the car's suspension to go over these cobbles. They'll lay a protective layer and then they'll tarmac asphalt over these cobbles. They'll put a steel barrier against the old castle wall to protect that. There'll be concrete barriers on this side. What they're going to do is actually take out this part of pavement and then just put a barrier up here. So yes, it is narrow, probably the narrowest part in Formula One, more narrower than Monaco, but it still will be 7.5 meters wide. And when you consider that a Formula One car is only about 2 meters wide, you could get 2 cars up here racing up the hill at once, but you're probably only going to be single file, I would have thought. And then as the drivers power up the hill, they'll take an apex around where this larder is, and they'll be forgiven for not having time to stop and look at the wonderful 12th century old city walls. Then it's straight down into a few long and very fast left-handers as we go down past the presidential palace. Turn 16, last significant corner on the circuit, and it's another quick left-hander past the Four Seasons Hotel, where Bernie's probably going to be staying, and then it's over a mile, flat chat, down past the central reservation we saw earlier, to the start-finish line. The driver's just going to be going... Baku's a fabulous city, unusual, exotic, yet very European in its feel and architecture. Once they get this circuit finished, it's going to be a highlight of the Formula One calendar.